So after watching the Panthers play the New England Patriots in week 2 of the preseason and getting to see a lot of Matt Corral and PJ Walker, I feel that we have to have a real discussion about what we've seen thus far and what we need to see in the future. You're listening to Money in the Bank. So to start this video off, I do want to jump into the offensive line first. That's been the most important position group this offseason to me, and it's going to continue to be the focal point of these videos here moving forward. Ike Ekwonu, Brady Christensen get to start at left tackle and left guard. Ike at left tackle, Brady Christensen at left guard, where we both think they'll project to be the starters come week 1 on opening day against the Cleveland Browns. First series out, Ike looked iffy, to say the least. He looked like a guy that needed to get his feet wet, needed those reps, needed those. I think going against a Patriot group that's veteran led, and guys like Dietrich Wise, Matthew Judon on the other end, guys like Bentley as well, that all pose problems for young players. I think it was great to see Ike and Brady get those live reps, figure it out on the fly in real time. I think that was great as well. I thought we seen promise out of both of those guys. Early on, did it look iffy? Yes. Do I kind of understand why you would put your second string quarterback in behind those guys right now at the current moment? Yes, but we have to be honest here. We're not making a playoff run if Ike and Brady Christensen are not starting. Those are for one, those are the two most talented guys you have in your offensive line room in general. Let's just make that very clear. And the potential is you're gonna have to err on the side of potential. Usually, I'm not a guy that does that. Usually, I want to err on the side of who can play for me right now, but the potential is too great and too high for us to let that go. It's, the 6th overall pick in Ike Ekwonu, a 3rd round pick last year. I think we have great value in Brady Christensen. Those two have to play right away. But again, I've seen things that I like, seen things that are also questionable. A lot of those things I think come from needing more reps, and that's the one thing we need that needs to be clear. Brady and Ike need more first team reps. Stop playing these games. Stop playing these reindeer games with the reps, my guy. We're too deep into the preseason and right around the corner of the regular season for us to still be playing shuffleboard with these groups. But let's keep it moving forward. The next set of guys I want to talk about are Amari Barno and Brandon Smith. Those two guys pop off the screen immediately. Brandon Smith is a sideline guy. All the athleticism, we talked about it once he was drafted. He has all the athleticism you would like in a guy that's going to be your starting linebacker. Where does he project? Can he play in the middle? Well, he played in the middle yesterday, and you see him right there. He's active. He's an energizer bunny out there in the middle of that defense. He provides that thump. He provides an enforcer type of mentality that you want to bring back to this defense. A guy that projects high at that position. A guy that was going to be deemed a guy that you're going to have to develop, but the physical tools are all there. And the one thing about defense is this. Look here, man. Are you willing to go run through a brick wall to get that man on the ground? Can you recognize what you're looking at? I think the main thing here is, as long as if he can continue to recognize what he's seeing on the field, continue to learn the defense and become more comfortable. He's a guy that in the first 2 weeks of the preseason, I've seen become more comfortable. And Amari Barno as well. The pass rushing ability of him is high. He's a guy that I think could probably get you around 8 to 9 sacks a season. Alongside of a Brian Burns, I think that's a great guy. That's a great guy to have that you can slap on the other side. That if he develops well, he can become that second pass rusher for you and become a rotational pass rusher that you need, man. You throw him in on pass rushing downs, go get the quarterback, young man. He has the ability to do that. Another guy that I think we need to see put on a lot more weight, put on a few more pounds. He doesn't have his NFL body. He looks young. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It look like he wearing Julius Pepper's old jerseys from like 2005, and he just started rocking it himself. But again, great potential with those two guys, and I think moving forward, that defense can become a top 10 unit if those two are contributing for you. Now, when we talk about PJ Walker and Matt Corral, PJ Walker, the situation with him has been odd because, I think a lot of us feel that, why is he getting these reps? Why is he getting the majority of these reps? I think it's simply an ode to PJ Walker from Matt Rule, because I think Matt Rule obviously knows that PJ Walker has to be the guy to go with the current situation of our quarterback room. He's clearly auditioning for other teams right now as we speak. I think this is just a coach that coached him in college, has been with him for a long time, giving him a chance to, prove himself and find another job in this league somewhere else. But that's about it. Other than that, I couldn't really tell you a real reason why you would have PJ Walker getting this many reps over your rookie quarterback that you drafted in the third round. Not only did you draft in the third round, you had to trade up to get. So let's keep that in mind. PJ Walker, what is there really to say as far as about his play other than we've seen his ceiling? We know what he is, and it's fine. It's a solid back. He's a backup quarterback in this league. What kind of backup? To each his own. I mean, he is 2-0 as a starter technically. So can he contribute in some ways? I think if I had to have PJ Walker come in and spell me for a series or two, I think it's fine. A full game, clearly, all the wires are not connecting up there when it comes down to playing a full game as a starting quarterback in this league. Matt Corral. Now, Matt Corral, I understand everybody's been really up in arms about how Matt Corral has looked thus far. I'll say this. Matt Corral was a project coming out of college, and he's still a project right now. I think a lot of us forgot. I haven't forgotten about the Lane Kiffin system, and this is why I said Lane Kiffin quarterbacks they scare me when it comes draft time, because the numbers look great, but the production once they get to the league is usually, it looks like this a little bit. I mean, you talk about guys that have the reads set out for them. There isn't a lot of reads. There's boom, boom. It's supposed to be out. It is not a whole lot of time being taken back there in the pocket. There are open guys running all over the field in a Lane Kiffin offense. The one thing we can say about that guy in particular is that he's great at schematics. He's great at scheming guys open. That's what he does. He's been one of the best offensive minds in college football for the better part of a decade. So let's be clear of what we're looking at. Matt Corral has tools and certain tangibles that I think we all like as a fan base that make us believe that, he could play this position at a high level. But there has to be some development done, and I don't think it was going to happen in this preseason anyway. I'm saying that there was even with more reps, and I will agree he does need more reps. I'm telling you, I don't believe that was going to save him from looking how he's looked this preseason. I truly don't. And again, would he have looked better? Yeah. But there's a quarterback competition going on. Nobody truly cares. I can say, I won't say nobody cares, but that's not at the forefront of their mind. If they found their bridge quarterback in Baker Mayfield, then Corral may not ever see the field as a starter or as a legitimate starter for the Carolina Panthers. That's one thing we have to all keep in mind. Next up is Keke Mason. I probably should have hit this one kind of second behind Icky and Brady, but Keke Mason showing off some of his versatility at being able to play center a little bit yesterday in place of Bozeman. Of course, Sam Tecklenburg started at center yesterday, and obviously Pat Elflein would be the starting center today if we had to play a game. But Keke Mason is a guy that's going to contribute on this offensive line somewhere. I said it. He's a guy that he came out of high school as a tackle, projected to the NFL as a guard, can play guard, can play some center. So he's a guy that shows that versatility, but shows that nastiness. I'm not going to lie to you. Our offensive line with Brady Christensen, Ike Kwamu, and Keke Mason gets me excited. Along with guys like Taylor Moton and Austin Corbett. Yes. That's a group that I can get behind that we know at least going to be physically imposing. I think that's probably the best overall group. Definitely one of the better run blocking groups we would have if that lineup were to start a game together. But the main thing is hopes that Bradley Bozeman can get back healthy and we can see him contribute. And the last thing here today is Terrace Marshall and the rest of this young receiving core outside of the main culprits, DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Terrace Marshall has to be available. That's as simple as it gets. His ability, we haven't seen his ability flourish on the field because he hasn't been on the field. If we just scratch last year, let's just scratch last year for him and Shaw because neither of them played a whole lot of time. Neither of them did a whole lot to contribute last year. Right now in camp, he started out having a great camp, but there's a bunch of other guys that have had great camps. Shy, for example, was having a great camp. Rashard Higgins, who I think is definitely wide receiver 3 right now, irregardless, is having a great camp. Derek Wright having a great camp. CJ Saunders was also having a great camp until he started running into he bit the injury bug, and so is Brandon Zylstra. They're getting thin at that wide receiver position, but your second round pick from last year cannot be getting out produced by a 6th rounder and Shi Smith and undrafted free agents like Derek Wright and CJ Saunders. At a point, you're gonna have to be on the field. The best ability is availability, and that's what it comes down to. And look, I ended on this because this is my guy, Union County. I'm a homer, but here's the thing: I may be a homer, but realistically, he has shown why he's got to be on this roster. Shi Smith, showing off his ability as a kick returner, showing off his ability as a punt returner. When given the opportunity to possess the ball as a wide receiver, what has he done? Nothing but make plays. So again, a guy that's gonna definitely find his way on this roster now because of his special teams ability. As a wide receiver initially, that may have not been enough to make him stick, but as a return man, as a specialist, that'll be enough to put him over the top over guys like Andre Roberts, who I think a lot of people thought would come into camp and find himself in that returner role because that's what he does. That's what he does the best. But here's the thing: having a strictly returner is one thing. You want to have a guy that can add some versatility to your room, and this is a guy that can actually contribute as a wide receiver. But that's all I have for today's video. I want to do something quick for y'all after the preseason game and just some small notes that I picked up myself. But be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. The Instagram is growing, it is booming, and I love to see it. But until then, keep waiting, and like we always say, keep pounding.